Hey guys, Indie Game Judge here with my latest review. Today we're going to be judging The Binding of Isaac, Wrath of the Lamb. Well, the Isaac plus the Wrath of the Lamb DLC, in case you didn't know. We're just going to sum it all into one big review, I guess. In case you're wondering, this is version 1.5, which is the most unholy edition. Basically what that means is just the collector's edition. There aren't too many differences from the main game, like literally just some bug fixes and stuff. So let's jump right into it. The Binding of Isaac is a game about, well, story-wise, Isaac is a little boy whose mother is basically a religious freak who listens to or watches religious broadcasts all the time, and eventually she hears the voice of God, who essentially tells her that Isaac is full of sin and needs to be sacrificed. And as she's about to kill him, he manages to escape with the trapdoor in his room and into the unknown depths below, being his basement. And so that's what this game essentially is Isaac's journey through the basement, and then the eventual goal to kill his own mother. Now the game actually goes quite a lot further than that, but I guess we'll get to that later. So as you could probably tell from the title screen, I've played through this game quite a lot. And in fact, I have 100% in this game, which is, I'll tell you, not an easy task, but a very fun one, because this game is just that, very, very fun. I basically love this game. But enough about that, let's actually talk about why I love this game. So, let's start with controls. As the first room of every single game points out, move A, S, D, W, and you attack with the arrow keys. So it's a twin stick shooter. You can use bomb with shift, E, command if you're on a Mac, whatever, and use your spacebar item with the space key. Surprise, surprise. Now, what is this game? This game is a roguelike, like twin stick shooter, somewhat but not quite bullet hell adventure RPG. I don't really know. Like it's very difficult to describe, but what sums it up really is roguelike twin stick, because every single time you die, that's it, you're dead, and you have to start over again, literally from the beginning, with absolutely zero items, the same amount of health that you started with. I'll take this, and all your stats reset to the base, literally just as if you started from the very first time. The only thing that saves when you die is your overall stats for like how many times you beat the game, and any secrets you've unlocked, but I'll get into that a little bit later as well. So this game, basically, it's a randomly generated as well. It's a big thing with roguelikes. So no two game is ever the same. In fact, it's quite impossible, chances are probably in the trillions of trillions that you ever had the same game. I've played for hours, and I can quite assure you that it is very random. So, basically, yeah, when you die, everything is gone, but that doesn't mean, for example, if you unlock a new character, then it's going to stay unlocked. But other than that, you lose everything. And a lot of people would think, wow, what the fuck is wrong? What the hell? You lose everything? That's stupid. Yeah, well, you're wrong. I hate to put it blatantly, but the game randomizes and mixes it up the gameplay so much that every single run feels like a new run. So I'm just going to take this HP upgrade here and move down to the next floor. I can say that quite honestly, every single run feels very, quite different from the last and all previous. Mainly this is due to the fact that like all the rooms are randomized, bosses are randomized. Like, there's quite a few set of bosses for each floor that you can fight. The enemies are all randomized in terms of like when you fight them and which ones you fight and what and where they are. The items are randomized, what items you can find in the item rooms or the treasure rooms, which are basically the yellow crown items on your map. So those rooms are basically a free item for your pleasure. Not always good, not always bad. Like I said, completely random. There's also shops where you're going to need a key to get in, and you're also going to need a key to get into all the item rooms from the second floor and beyond. And there are also rooms below me here, which are challenge rooms. So you basically can only go in them when you have full health, and you fight a bunch of enemies in exchange for getting a chest or an item or something like that. There's also the boss room, which is basically your goal on every floor is to reach the boss room and kill the boss. Simple enough, and you move to the next floor. When you first start, it appears that you start in the basement, and there's 2 of each set. So, basement, and then you go to the caves, and then you go to the depths. And I will tell you, I don't want to spoil anything for you guys, but it goes way further than that. So, what seems like a short little game at first has way more content than you might expect. If you have the Wrath of the Lamb expansion, there are a bunch more items, a bunch more bosses, new enemies, etc, etc, as well as there's an alternate version of each floor, so there's 50-50 chance you might spawn on the basement or you might spawn in the cellar, which looks a bit different, different room layouts, and different enemies, as well as different bosses. Now this room is the curse room, yes, where costs you half a heart to go in, half a heart to go out, but you can either get items or maybe something bad, so you basically sacrifice your health and you can get something. So I'm just going to take this here. This particular spacebar item, as you can see, replaced my old one, which is actually a very special item that only this character has and only lets you unlock it, which is towards the end of the game, towards the end of the main game, which actually allows you to re-roll items that you have found if you think they're crappy. So for example, if I re-rolled this and I'd get this item. Now this item is actually considered to be one of the most powerful items in the game. Brimstone actually replaces your regular tears. Yes, you are crying. It's not spit or anything else that, I don't know how you thought it was, but it's tears. This actually replaces it with a laser. Upside, increases your damage. Downside, it has to recharge, so it has to charge, so you have to hold it for quite a bit. Some of the other rooms include libraries, which also require a key. You can give you 2 books, which are all spacebar items as well. So at the end of every single boss fight, you're going to get an item. Generally is an HP upgrade or generally a stat upgrade. The stats are speed, movement speed, tears, which is basically your fire rate, your damage, self-explanatory, and range, which is how far your tears go before they evaporate, shall we say. Now with an item like laser, range is completely useless, but that's just luck. And I will tell you that Brimstone is actually quite rare, so yeah. Other items I've got so far in this run. This little guppy hairball is a little thing swirling around. It's basically like a wrecking ball that damages enemies. The variety of items in this game is insane. There are literally 200 items that you can get. Let's go in the devil room here. This room essentially allows you to trade your actual life containers, not like little health that you can just pick up and restore, your actual life containers in exchange for a new item. So if I sacrificed one of my 4 heart containers for this foot here, which is the lucky foot, which gives you more luck. So if I did that, let's do that just to show you guys, then I now have 1 less health, but now I have the lucky foot. And like all I believe, at least like 98%, well, most of the items change your character aesthetically. So you notice when I pick up Brimstone, it made me into this demonic creeper dude here. Lucky Foot actually gives you a little ring around your foot, but it didn't show up because I have Brimstone, which changes my skin. So Mom's Coin Purse is an item that gives you pills, tarot cards, all that kind of stuff are just random pickups that are stored in the Q slot that can be saved for later, but you can only have 1, and they all have different effects. Some of them, sometimes they're bad, sometimes they're good. You never know until you use it, and then they stay the same for that run. But as with the rest of this game, the next run, the pills are going to be completely different what they use. The tarot card, it doesn't explicitly tell you what they do, but they stay the same from run to run. So for example, if I picked up a tarot card, for example, the Emperor, it teleports you straight to the boss room. So here's the challenge run I was expressing earlier. So when I take this chest, it turned out to not be very good. The door's locked and I have to defeat a bunch of enemies, before I can go out again. So all pickups in this game are random, just like the items. You might get crap, you might get something great, you might get a key when you desperately need it, or the game might troll you and just, when you're desperately needing the key, just give you a bomb. Bombs are useful for many reasons. You can use it to damage enemies, you can use it to blow open the secret rooms in a Zelda-like style. where you can find some extra money or a slot machine, or if you're really lucky, an item. And money is obviously used at the shops and occasionally the arcade, which is basically a place where you can gamble all your money away. So there's sheer number of items in this game, around 200. I am not kidding with you. There are a ton of items, and not all of them are locked from the start. You'll get the items when you beat certain bosses with certain characters, when you reach certain floors, or when you accomplish certain tasks, and then those items will be added to the item pool of possible items that you can acquire on future runs. But just because you get it on one run doesn't mean you can get it on another. It's completely random. So this year I got, for example, a bomb. Now the game randomizes it every time, so you could have gotten a key just as easily. That is the main appeal of this game, is the randomness associated with essentially all of it. Like I said, no two runs are pretty much ever the same. Well, they are never the same. And the reason I put a bomb there is because it was actually a pretty stupid decision, but I was looking for the secret room, which you can sometimes. I've got enough health to open here. Ooh, these blue hearts, by the way, are called soul hearts. They're essentially like shields to your main health, so you can have as unlimited of them, so they go beyond your heart containers. But at the same time, you can't refill them except if you find more, and they're more rare. So secret room, you can look for it with a bomb, and generally you can find it where they're on the map where there's lots of rooms that are adjacent to each other. So there's kind of like an opening, and so if I blow it up there, it wasn't the secret room. Maybe this is. This is the secret room. And so we got some money in there and a nickel. And while pennies are the main currency in this game, you can also get some nickels and dimes. Again, all by luck. Even though, if you're Canadian, you'd know that. Or maybe if you're American and you stay updated, or, well, not just American, if you stay updated at all with world events, shall we say, the penny has been phased out. We no longer use the penny here in Canada because it was too expensive to make. But that's off topic. Back to the game. So, this is Gurdy. It's one of the many bosses that you can fight here on the caves. Basically, if you play on the cave, chances are you might get Gurdy 1 in maybe 8, 1 in 9 times. There are a lot of there's tons of variety for bosses. I believe there's over 50 or so. Don't quote me on that. Actually, I'm pretty sure it is around 50, if not more. So the just sheer amount of content keeps this game fresh for a long time. And you may think, wow, this game is really easy. That's because I got a really powerful item, which is very rare. The game is one of the hardest games I've actually ever played, and it's not expected that you're going to beat, for example, Mom every single time. In fact, sometimes you'll be so brutally underpowered that you'll just maybe die even on the basement. And until you build up some skill, you probably die in the basement on most of all your runs until you start to get some experience. It's actually a good thing that I got Brimstone, so I can actually spend some time talking about this game and not just constantly dying. Because even with all the skill that I've acquired over playing it, it still doesn't guarantee I'm going to win every time. In fact, I don't win every time, and all my runs have varying degrees of success. So in terms of, there's tons of items. Let me talk some more about the item variety. The wooden spoon, gives you some speed. Most boss room items tend to be statistical upgrades. The item rooms are a little bit more interesting. For example, there's some spacebar items that you can get. Just on top of my head, there's. Now, of course, there's 200 items in the game, and I can't think of any. Good lord. Wow. I'm really ashamed of myself. Okay, Okay. Well, this gives me an excuse to not talk about items for a second. Curved Horn. Curved Horn is one of the many trinkets in the game, but you only find them in Wrath of the Lamb. By the way, this is the Catacombs. It's the alternate for the caves. So, 50-50 chance to get either one. Curved Horn is a trinket, so they store in the opposite kind of part of your screen to where tarot cards and pills are stored. They basically have passive effects that it doesn't specifically tell you, so you can find out with trial and error. I will tell you that Curved Horn increases your damage by 2 points, but you can only have one trinket at a time unless you get an item, for example, Mom's Purse, which actually allows you to hold 2 at once. So, spacebar items. Off the top of my head, I walked over a spike. I'm a big dumbass. One of them I can think of is Monstro's 2. A boss in the game is called one of the bosses in the game is called Monstro, and Monstro's 2 actually summons him, and he slams down upon enemies and does deal some damage to them. Or another one might be Book of Belial, which one of the characters that you will unlock later actually starts with this item, and it basically maxes your damage for that room. Or there's an item, some passive items might include Spoonbender, which gives you homing shots, and so there's both passive and active. So I can use bomb here to actually make like a bridge to get to some of the stuff here, and I can also use bombs to blow up these special blue rocks, which are kind of hidden in the world, but they can give you extra soul hearts or some keys and bombs. Now here's an arcade where you can gamble your money away. So you can actually, these also appear randomly throughout the world as well. For example, this is a blood bank. Trade your life for money. It's this shell dude. It's a fortune teller, and there's also regular slot machines. So sometimes they pay out with stuff. Here's the tarot card, for example, the lovers. This one gives you two hearts. This one's 2 hearts. But they don't always give you things. Since you have the lucky foot, it actually makes it more likely to get them from these. High Priestess is a card that actually summons Mom's almighty foot down upon you, or upon your enemies rather, if it's spawned upon you, which actually does if there are no enemies in the room, so be careful. And that would be a problem. This is the Fallen, another one of the many enemies that you can fight. So yeah, some more interesting items. Mom's Eye. Gives you a second eye on the back of the head and allows you to shoot behind you. Or I'm just going to pop the High Priestess here. Kill that guy. I really need just like a big list of items. Actually, I will talk about items when after I finish this run. Oh, horror battle. Okay. So, this particular item, when you get down to half a heart, it actually makes you game more powerful. So yes, there are many items, and there's every time you find a new item, it shows up in your collection page, which I can show you after I finish this run. So let's continue on here. So the game has a lot going for it. Basically, it's got the an awesome art style, absolutely fantastic, phenomenal music, created by none other than Danny Baranowski. This particular item occasionally gives you a period of extra invincibility when you get hit. Actually, phenomenal music by Danny Baranowski, one of my favorite game soundtracks. Actually, my favorite game soundtrack of all time. We're just going to actually go down to the shop. I'll go to the shop so I can show you. So get the secret room here. It was there. And it's just a slot machine. We're going to blow it up. Give me a pill. Let's see what the pill does. Puberty. That is basically the game's way of saying, screw you. That pill does absolutely nothing. It's just to troll you, basically. And just to waste your damn time. But the game does not do... The game may take a lot of your time. I would not call any of it wasting. Okay, so... You don't have enough money to buy the battery, which basically makes your spacebar items charge faster. So we're just going to buy a soul heart. The game may take a lot of your time, but it doesn't waste it. Every pretty much run can be very entertaining. It is a frustrating game. It is a very hardcore, difficult game. You're not going to win every single time, and that's all to be expected. It may be frustrating. It may take you 10, 20, maybe 50 times to be just Moms the first time. But eventually you'll start getting better. You might unlock new items. You'll get better luck. And that's all part of the experience. If that doesn't appeal to you, try this game anyway. I honestly cannot recommend this game enough. It is literally $5 and an additional $3 if you want to buy the Wrath of the Lamb expansion, which adds about 50% more content. I know, it probably seems, I'm the guy's bloody marketing guy, but no, I can tell you from the bottom of my heart that I am not, that I am just a random indie game enthusiast, and I have absolutely enjoyed every minute of this game. Except this one, basically, because this item is the poop, and guess what it does? Shit. Quite literally, it is probably one of the shittiest items in the game. See what I did there? So we can actually re-roll it, and get this item, which gives you poison bombs. Powers up your bombs to be more poisonous. So yeah, I'm not gonna go for the full run for you guys because mainly it's gonna spoil things, B, it's gonna take way too long, and C, there is no third point to this argument. Yeah. So let's just continue on here. The game is gonna be very challenging, and but as much as randomness does have a part in it, you can skill also has a big part of it. It's a big balance of skill and luck. The most skilled players can't beat the game if they get nothing but crappy items, while at the same time, the most shitty players will only be able to beat the game if they get the best of items. So, yeah, the items are balanced fairly well, I'd say. There's clearly some that are better than others, but the better ones tend to be a bit rarer. But there are still plenty of mediocre items which are fairly common, so you never feel like the game. Okay, let's be fair. There will be times where you feel the game absolutely hates you, and I can quite assure you that there is no built-in AI that listens to your desperate cries for a key only to give you a bomb. Well, maybe it is, and we're all being watched, and it's a conspiracy. No, I'm kidding, of course, but the game can troll you sometimes. But you have to remember, it is just a random number generator. Alright, here is a chance where an item in the secret room. This is a pretty crappy item. It just basically functions as a poison head that you can whip at people, so I can re-roll it. I will tell you, you're not going to get the ability. I'm not going to take that item. It's not very good. It just unlocks some doors for you that you wouldn't normally be able to access. For example, like the challenge room if you're not at full health. I will tell you that you don't actually have unlocked the ability to reroll items till a bit later in the game. And you also only start with one character, but you unlock more for doing different tasks. For example, you unlock Magdalene if you do a run where you get 7 heart containers. Or you unlock Kane if you get a run where you have 55 pennies, and that may seem like quite a bit. But for example, if you play enough of the slot machine, sometimes it can pay out with $1, which gives you 99 cents instantly. So there are a lot of stuff like that in the game that makes it really charming, really fun, and yeah, as I said before, the possibilities in this game are truly endless, and it's very addicting. You're going to want to collect. If you get Wrath of the Lamb, there are literally 98 secrets to be found, and even though I have all of them, I'm still playing this game. Not as much as I used to be fair, but still, quite an occasion. And actually, that reminds me that me and some of my other friends are going to be doing a races, so we're all going to have our own computers, and we're going to be racing to fight to reach a certain point in the game, and first person to get there is going to win, clearly. And if you lose, you basically you restart the game until one of us wins, and we're all going to record it and have it played simultaneously. And so that's going to go, I got hit by the spike, I'm an idiot, and video is going to go up a little later. Probably sometime soon-ish. Alright, this is the last one I'm going to show for you guys. There are more floors than this, but like I said, I don't want to spoil anything. And the story may seem kind of simplistic at first, but actually the intro tells a lot less than some of the endings. There are 13 endings and an epilogue to this game. So there's actually some really dark themes, and you'll notice some of the items are really weird, like Mom's lipstick gives you a creepy, or gives you a weird red, lipstick around your character, which I think is really cool that the items actually change the way your character look. Pretty much they all do, and it increases your range for some reason. But there's some pretty weird ass items and story elements of this game, but that all kind of makes it more interesting. Is it just me, or are we all kind of sick of the games being censored? And I died. Well, I guess I won't show you the whole game. Well, that was I think this is going on for long enough anyway. But like I said, you don't win every single time. And the fact that some of these themes are a little unusual or different from most games, that just makes it more interesting for me. And there's also some extra challenges, some extra, like, here's all the crazy stats you can do. As you can see, I've died a lot of times, so many times in fact that it kind of glitched and went off the screen somehow. 98 secrets that I have all, and not 190 items. I think that counter is actually wrong. But yeah, look at all these items. There are a lot of them. Just to point out a quick view, Mr. Mega gives you superpowered bombs. Cupid's arrow gives you piercing shots. Dollar, I already explained that one, gives you 99 cents. 1UP gives you an extra life. Halo flies give you 2 flies that rotate around that block shots. Hourglass slows enemies. Wiggle worm makes your tears rotate or go all wiggly. Mark gives you extra damage and rate of fire. Book of Revelations gives you spirit heart or soul heart. Shoot to Whoop makes you fire a giant laser. Teleport teleports you. Big surprise there. Necronomicon deals damage to enemies. Mom's pad. Yeah, it basically scares the shit out of enemies and they fly away. Kamikaze, do damage to yourself. Mom's bra. Also very, very disturbing. I think it does a similar effect, but I can't quite remember because it's pretty crappy and is weird. Mom's contacts gives you freezing effect. Pact turns you into a demon, gives you extra damage. Escatol makes flies like love you and not do any damage to you. Parasite makes your shot split. I'll just do a few more, I promise. Prayer card gives you an eternal heart, which if you bring it down to the next floor, it turns into a full heart container. Sacrificial dagger is a dagger that rotates around you, damages enemies. Mutant spider gives you quad shot. Stigmata gives you more damage. Mouse purse hold 2 trinkets. Bucket of lard make you a super fat ass, lower your speed, but it give you 2 heart containers. Fate makes you fly, which actually is a common theme on some of these. And for example, this was that item, or not that item. What am I saying? Guppy's hairball. I don't know where that is here, but it gives you that little wrecking ball. Telepathy for Dummies gives you homing shots for 1 room. Box gives you a bunch of pickups. Habit, when you get hit, it restores some of your spacebar's effect. Dead Bird, when you get hit, the dead bird follows around enemies and does damage to them. Epic Fetus changes your gears into bloody freaking not heat-seeking, but guided missiles. Yeah, so there's a ton of items in this game, and I really think you're gonna love it. Check out the wiki, check out how many crazy items there are, check out there's so many things happening in this game that I just cannot explain them all in a review, but I guarantee you will have a great time in this game. And if you don't, I very apologize, but there's something kind of wrong with you because this game is awesome. Great music, great gameplay, great graphics, replayability on an insane level. So guys, overall, this game gets a perfect 10 out of 10. I would give it higher than that, but it is a fraction after all, and 110% isn't mathematically possible. But if it were, I would definitely give it that score. This is an absolutely phenomenal game. I encourage you to pick it up, get the expansion. It's only $3. It adds a ton more content. And this game is fantastic, so stop watching this video and get the game. Have a good day, guys. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you next week. See you later. Bye, guys.